in the corner quietly mopping the floor during our last board meeting. She just rewrote this entire company's future, the CEO said, his voice cracking as he pointed toward the door. And then, it opened. No one knew her name when she first entered the building. She came in wearing worn-out sneakers and a faded brown hoodie. Her fingers clutched a crumpled application form with trembling hope. There was no fancy resume, no cover letter, no referrals, just a quiet determination in her eyes that had seen too much pain for someone so young. Her name was Emily Carter. She was applying for the night shift cleaning job at a massive corporate headquarters of Stonebridge Innovations, one of the fastest-growing tech companies in the city. She'd taken 2 buses and walked nearly 3 miles to get there, not for ambition, but survival. She needed the job not for herself, but for her younger brother, Jamie, who had Down syndrome and had just lost access to his special education program after their foster mother passed away. She was only 23. "I don't have many qualifications," Emily whispered during the interview with the janitorial supervisor. "But I can work hard. I don't stop." He looked at her with tired eyes. "We need someone who'll show up and clean the offices. That's it. You can start tonight." And just like that, Emily became invisible to the building she helped shine. Nights in the corporate tower were lonely. Lights flickered off one by one as executives and developers poured out, never once glancing at her. She swept the halls, scrubbed toilets, and wiped down coffee-stained glass walls. But Emily had a secret. While cleaning the boardroom one evening, she noticed a stack of discarded printouts in the trash, quarterly performance charts, budget forecasts, and a proposal draft. She wasn't sure what made her take them home, but something about those graphs spoke to the girl who once dreamed of becoming a data analyst. A dream she buried the day her parents died in a car crash when she was 16. Back in their cramped apartment, after Jamie had fallen asleep, Emily stayed up late going through the spreadsheets and charts. She noticed patterns. Mistakes. Huge gaps in projections. She scribbled notes, then diagrams. It started with curiosity, then something sparked. She stayed up until 3 a.m. cross-referencing figures and mapping out how a small product line they were discontinuing could actually become a major revenue source, if optimized correctly. A week later, while mopping the floor near the cafeteria, she overheard 2 executives talking. "We've got one last shot at impressing the board before this product line gets scrapped," one of them said. "It's bleeding too much cash. Everyone's lost hope." Her heart pounded. Could she say something? Would anyone even listen? No. She couldn't risk losing the job. Jamie needed the medicine. The rent was overdue. Besides, who would believe a cleaner? But the next night, while wiping down the whiteboard in a vacant meeting room, she found the courage to write a few key points from her idea. She drew charts, listed data trends, and left the title, "What if you're looking at it backwards?" She never signed her name. She just erased everything the next day before leaving. But someone had taken a photo. 2 days later, the company's senior project manager stormed into the room holding a printed version of the whiteboard diagram. "Who did this?" he asked aloud in the executive lounge. "This model is better than anything our analytics team came up with in 2 months." No one spoke. No one knew. Until a junior IT guy sheepishly raised his hand. I think it was the cleaner. I saw her drawing on the board at night. I thought it was just, for fun." Within the hour, Emily was pulled into the HR office. She thought she was being fired. Her voice shook as she tried to explain she hadn't meant to overstep. But instead of anger, the project manager sat beside her in stunned silence as she walked him through the numbers she'd analyzed. She spoke with clarity, nervous at first, but stronger with each word. By the end of the conversation, he was speechless. This could actually work, he muttered. This could save the entire division. The next morning, Emily was asked to attend the board meeting. She almost said no. Her shirt had bleach stains. She only had one pair of jeans. She'd never been in an elevator above the third floor, and now they were asking her to step into a room filled with million-dollar suits and Ivy League degrees. But something inside her said go. When the elevator dinged on the top floor, she almost turned back. But then she thought of Jamie's face. His wide smile when she made pancakes. His giggle when they watched cartoons on the mattress they shared. She was doing this for him. She entered the boardroom like a whisper. The CEO paused mid-sentence when he saw her. And then, the project manager stood and said, "Before we go further, there's someone here who needs to speak. She's not on the org chart. But she's about to change everything." He stepped aside, and Emily took a trembling breath. What followed was 30 minutes of the most unexpectedly powerful presentation the board had ever heard. She spoke with emotion, backed with numbers. She didn't just pitch an idea, she told a story. Of lost chances. Of what companies throw away when they stop seeing the people who mop their floors. Of the millions hidden in the shadows of overlooked potential. When she finished, no one clapped. They were too stunned. And then, slowly, one by one, they rose. Not in polite applause, but in full, heartfelt standing ovation. That night, Emily didn't go back to the janitor's closet. She was offered a position, junior data strategist, with full training and mentorship included. And full medical coverage for her and Jamie. The company announced a new internal initiative, Project Rise, aimed at uncovering hidden talents among non-executive staff. The first feature? Emily Carter's story. 3 months later, the CEO stood at a company-wide town hall, tears in his eyes as he addressed the crowd. Talent is not always found in resumes or boardrooms. Sometimes, it's hidden in the quiet steps of a girl who once cleaned this very floor. Today, we stand here not because of a corporate strategy, but because of one woman who reminded us what it means to believe in people. He turned to the side. And Emily stepped onto the stage, holding Jamie's hand. Sometimes the brightest minds are stuck in the darkest corners, not because they don't shine, but because no one ever looked. Believe in people. Give them a chance. And they might just surprise you.